Obviously, I know these numbers are still coming in. Overall, though, we're looking at a company that seems to be trying to maintain its general outlook for the year here, even though maybe the street was looking for a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, sentiment in FedEx has been pretty negative for the last, I would say, couple of years. As you mentioned, the stock's down around 12% so far this year versus around 3.5% up for its biggest rival, UPS. I think the good news here is that they maintain their outlook for the full year for EPS. Obviously, that is good. FedEx has had a history as of late changing around its outlook, sometimes up, sometimes down. I think what's going to be interesting, at least on the call, is we're probably going to hear from the new CEO of FedEx Express, one of the larger businesses within the group. That's Fred Smith, the founders. His son is taking over. Richard Smith is taking over to run that business. So I think it'll be interesting, so investors can hear from him. That's at least my guess. And also, I think we're going to hear from them about like what the impact is of this Russia war is on their network. We haven't heard too many companies talk about the dollars and cents of the impact. Obviously, the human toll has been terrible, but we'll hear from FedEx, I'm guessing, on their call in about an hour and 15 minutes, and they're going to talk more about probably the impact of the war, in their outlook going forward. And not only, the impact of the war, but obviously, the inflationary pressures that we're facing here in the U.S. How's that going to impact consumer demand, which is obviously very important to their overall growth.
Lee, can you talk to me about some of those inflationary pressures? They're mentioning in their press release higher transportation costs, higher wage rates, but this is a company, if you think about the pricing power, they have it, do they not?
Yeah, they do have pricing power, whether it's all of their businesses, whether especially their LTL business. Expectations are for yields or revenue per hundredweight, which is how we measure pricing, to increase about 12%. Still going through the release, seeing if they actually made that number. But yeah, they have a lot of pricing power because capacity is at a premium right now, no matter what mode of transportation you're talking about.
Hey, when we think about, Lee, FedEx versus UPS, they're not apples to apples in terms of the transportation model. So what is it that we need to kind of be thinking about as we go through these FedEx numbers in comparison to UPS?
Well, I mentioned the less than truckload market. UPS actually sold their less than truckload business last year to TFI in Canada. So, this is actually a competitive advantage for FedEx because it happens to be a very strong business right now. Other competitors in that field include Old Dominion or XPO. And they're just doing really well because they can be extremely selective about the freight that they bring in, which is increasing their overall rates and margins.